Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. My wife Joni loves bread, and she particularly enjoys homemade bread. So about 5 years ago, I learned how to bake bread. Initially, I tried to follow recipes, but they never seemed to work out. And they seem to be really labor intensive. It is not something I can do anytime I want. However, it is important enough to me. I spent several months to work on it, and I developed a template. And this turned out to be a very simple template. It took me only about 10 minutes to set it up. And it took me another 10 minutes to mix it in a stand mixer. Since my oven has a proof setting, so I proofed the dough in the oven for about 45 minutes. I proofed the dough only once, and then I put it into my oven, and I set the temperature at about 350 degrees, and I baked the bread in 30 minutes. I have described the basic template in this video. But as I mentioned earlier, this is a template, therefore I make substitutions to change the nature of the bread from time to time. For example, I will use this template to make rosemary bread, and sometimes I use it to make walnut bread as well as cranberry bread. Baking this bread is fast, straightforward, and simple. And I usually bake about 2 to 3 times a month. And sometimes I bake them more often, particularly I will use them as something that I will give to my friends and neighbors. And about several days before Thanksgiving, I bake some bread because I want to use it to make croutons in making a dressing. And since I still have a few pieces left, and my wife suggested, why don't we have some French toast? So in this video, I would like to show you how to make French toast in a wok. So this morning, I used 4 eggs to make 4 pieces of French toast. And to the eggs, I add some heavy whipped cream, which is probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons. This will make the French toast to taste a little bit richer. And then I add about 2 tablespoons of sugar. And to make sure that I have enough to make 4 pieces of French toast, I add another 4 tablespoons of water. Again, as you notice here, I use this as a template, so I kind of free to make adjustments, very much based on intuition. And this is what makes home cooking fun. I then transfer the eggs to a shallow bowl, which is about the right size for each piece of bread. I cook this in my 14-inch Cucina stainless steel wok. I start out with about 1 tablespoon of canola oil. Of course, you can use any cooking oil that you would like, as long as it has a high smoking point. I'm going to lightly season the wok using my spa seasoning method. If you'd like to learn more about this method, you can take a look at this video. But I'm going to season it only very lightly. As soon as I notice a slight hint of smoke from the oil, I know it is ready to cook. I dip the toast in the egg. The toast is going to absorb quite a bit of egg because it's relatively thick, and the crumb of the toast is very loose. And it is this kind of a bread will make the best French toast. The outside of the bread is slightly crunchy, but the inside is pillowy soft. This Cucina wok has a relatively large flat surface area, so that it can be used like a small frying pan. This allows me to fry 2 pieces of French toast. And this actually is the primary reason that I use this as my everyday wok. I like the multifunctionality of this wok that can be used under various types of cooking situations. I used to make French toast on a griddle, but this is much simpler. My friend Jackson, who lived in a small wood cabin outside of Denver in the mountains, he has exactly the same wok as I recommended to him several years ago. He told me that he loved this wok because this is the only cooking utensil that he has in his small kitchen. And he uses it for all his cooking, even when he goes camping. He loves the flexibility of this wok. In fact, when he goes camping, he even uses the wok as a washing basin. As you notice here that I seasoned the wok very lightly in the beginning. The wok does not have a perfect non-stick cook surface, but it works reasonably well. There is some mild sticking of the French toast to the wok, but it's not bad at all. Normally in my spot seasoning, I would let the oil to smoke gently for about 15 seconds. And this is the time when the wok is being seasoned to create a non-stick cook surface. Depending on what you are cooking, this non-stick cook surface might not be very important. And in some cases, this non-stick cook surface is being created while you cook. Now during this entire cooking process, I set the stove to low heat. This will prevent the generation of oil films. The process of cooking might be slower, but it will reduce a generation of oil films. This is the type of compromise that you make. And if you want the cooking to go faster, you will turn up the heat. But in this case, you will generate more oil films. In terms of flavor of the ingredients, a high heat versus low heat really is not that much different. And therefore, if you are in your home cooking, you want to generate minimum amount of oil film, you should always leave the stove at a lower heat setting. As shown here in this case, I set the heat setting of my stove to medium-low through the entire cooking process. Okay, now I'm ready to cook the second batch. And now because I have set the stove to low setting, I hardly generate any oil film during this cooking process. Anything I want to show you in this video is the importance of heat management. I used to make the mistake of leaving the stove at a high setting all the time. And the end result is that I generate a lot of oil films. And I definitely do not like to have too much oil films because it tends to make it difficult to clean up afterward. And over the years, I have learned the most important consideration is to control the heat. I want it to be hot enough to cook the ingredients that I want, but at the same time, I want to minimize the amount of oil film generation. As you can see, even under low heat, the French toast cook very nicely. And the total cook time of 4 pieces of French toast is about 8 minutes. So in this video, I would like to show you that my fast cooking system is highly applicable to many different forms of cooking. As well as the versatility of the wok that will allow you to use it for many different cooking functions. And with all the woks that I have used in the past, this Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok is probably among the most versatile woks. I truly think the importance of home cooking is that its versatility, as well as the spontaneity that you can cook any type of food that you want. And of course, we could order this French toast in a restaurant. But the French toast that we cook is probably better than anything that we could get otherwise. First of all, I think the bread is definitely better. Secondly, we can top the French toast with anything that we would like. In this case, we sprinkle a little bit of powdered sugar and followed by some cinnamon, because my wife loves cinnamon. I post a video each day to demonstrate to you how to make home cooking as part of your daily routine. Use my fast cooking system. And And if you'd like to learn more about how this cooking system will help you to make home cooking practical, effective, creative, and fun, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.